Welcome back, aspirants, to the channel Syllabus Coach, which has been presenting the unique series to revise and revisit NCERTs. So, this is the Telegram channel where you can give the NCERT quiz of this lesson soon after you finish this video. So, friends, I'm quickly going into this lesson because it will take a little bit time. So, I want to finish it better. So, friends, here till now we have finished 7 lessons, right? Now we have 2 lessons remaining. So, here I would like to stress here in the beginning of the video itself that till now I have covered in a first way. Now I want to cover in the second way. So what is the first way? First way is more of an objective oriented, prelims oriented. There, here and there I have given a bit of analysis or key suggestions to you. But now I want you to deal the second lesson in a more subjective mains perspective. Okay, UPSC mains perspective. So here, more than bits or MCQs, I would deal this in question and answers mains format. Okay. So now I have linked this particular lesson 8 of rural livelihoods to a topic in GS2 paper 3 called welfare schemes for vulnerable sections and paper studies general studies 3 paper 4 called land reforms in India. Friends, don't worry, land reforms is not particularly dealt in this NCERT lesson, but it is the basis. Okay, this lesson is a basis for land reforms. Focus here, vulnerable sections. Why vulnerable sections? Friends, which exams you are preparing for? You are preparing for UPSC and other government exams, right? So being a government servant, whom you should think about? You should think about vulnerable sections of India. So you should not think about people like Vijay Mallya or people like big corporate people. They don't have problems of unemployment. They don't need the government schemes or assistance. So who need the government assistance? Who need the support of government officials? The vulnerable sections. So that's why here the NCERT straight. Okay, in the NCERT sixth class itself, the last 2 lessons are rural and urban livelihoods. So here they don't talk of the jamindaris in rural areas and the big corporates in urban areas. They talk about the vulnerable sections. Okay, so that's why I want to deal what is called as social issues. So what are social issues? Poverty, unemployment, illiteracy. These are called as the social issues. So let me deal in the mains perspective. So these are the two main questions. I'm not explaining you this. I expect you to write these answers in the comments. So in the next videos, I will take a particular answer and give the feedback. So the first question is about cooperative societies, and the second question is about the livestock rearing as a part of non-farm employment. I have added this question because in this particular lesson, this non-farm is the key word in the first page of the lesson. You can read it. So in the non-farm sector of rural economy, livestock rearing is the biggest thing presently happening in India. I would say farmers who are doing livestock are earning more than farmers who are working on the fields. This is a fact. So livestock rearing has gained a lot of importance. Similarly, horticulture. Farmers who are producing paddy and wheat are actually gaining less. Farmers who are doing horticulture are earning more. So now the shift has been from agriculture to horticulture and livestock rearing. So focus on these two issues. Give your answers as comments. So please give this answer, friends, because you need to answer. Remember, in UPSC mains, you need to answer the papers for 6 hours. Just with 2 hours gap, with 6 hours, you have to write the answers. So every day you should be able to write at least one answer. So going to the question, what are the non-farm occupations in villages? So friends, these are the generally non-farm occupations. So what is generally farming? Farming is agriculture, right? In India, we know about 50 to 60% people is directly or indirectly dependent on agriculture. So who are all the other people? They are the non-farm occupations. So here they are asking about the rural areas, non-farm occupations. They are nothing but the people who make baskets, pots, bricks, blacksmiths, nurses, washermen, weavers, barbers, traders, teachers, etc. So here in rural areas, what we call as castes are nothing but the occupations at one stage of time. So now we are coming to the real question, that is what are agricultural laborers or who are tenants? Okay, tenants. Here I am answering this in the form of an analysis, UPSC mains answer. Okay. So who are agricultural laborers, friends? They are called as the tenants. So who are tenants? Tenants are also generally called as farmers only, but they work as wages per day. Okay, that is the first point. They work for wages per day. And second point, key point is they don't own the land. Okay, they don't have the land. We think they are working in the fields. You may think that land is theirs, but no, they don't have any land. They work in the lands of other farmers. Okay, and from that bigger farmer, they will get wages per day. For example, see here, these all these people generally when we were children, we might have thought that these people are farmers, but no, these people are daily laborers. Okay, we think they are farmers, but actually in India, 80% of people who work on the land are actually tenants only, right? This is the fact. So they need the government protection. So what I told, they are the vulnerable sections. So the tenant farmers are the biggest vulnerable sections in the rural areas, and it is these section of people which the government has to protect. But what really happening is, this is not anti-government, friends. This is called as a critical of the government. When you are aspiring to be an UPS aspirant, when you become an IAS officer, you need to create policies. So you need to think of vulnerable sections. So here these three are very good schemes, friends. They have been very helpful to farmers during the corona lockdown. But yes, there are loopholes in each and every scheme. Here I am trying to analyze the loopholes of this scheme. It may take time, but this is very helpful, friends. Here, what I'm trying to do is, this is not at all related to NCERT lesson, but I am trying to expand the horizons of your thought process. Okay. So first deal with the PM Kisan. That is rupees 6,000 per year. So what central government is trying to do? Central government is giving 6,000 to each and every farmer in three installments, friends. Three installments means for every 4 months they will get one installment. Next 4 months, second installment. At the end of the year, third installment. It is very fine. Okay, and it is being given to 9 crore farmers all over India. This is a very really good scheme. But what is the actual criticism of this scheme is, it is not going to tenants. So what these people, they are not getting anything. During Corona, there are many migrant laborers, they have gone to villages, they are not getting anything. Similarly, you see another scheme called Telangana Raitu Bandhu scheme. Actually, this is the first scheme in India which has started giving direct benefit money to farmers. The PM Kisan scheme of India has also accepted in the Indian Economic Survey that it is inspired from the Telangana scheme. Telangana scheme is better than PM Kisan because it is giving rupees 8,000 per acre. So if the farmer has 2 acres, he will get 16,000. If he has 10 acres, he will get 80,000. So this is indeed actually helping the bigger farmers, right? Suppose a farmer has 100 acres. How much he will get? 100 into 8,000, about 8 lakhs he is getting per year. So what is happening to tenants again? So tenants are getting nothing. But Odisha scheme, unlike PM Kisan and Telangana, actually it has also focused on tenants. Okay, I have read that it is also focused on tenants. So when you compare these three schemes, whatever amount is going to farmers, it is fine. But because Odisha scheme has actually contributing to tenants, in my view, Odisha's Kalia scheme of support to farmers is better than PM Kisan and Telangana. So as a UPSC aspirant, you have to think in this perspective. Here I am not from Odisha and I don't have any bias. But when I am asked in the mains answer to compare which scheme is better, I would say it is the Odisha scheme in the better, because here the value I have is empathy, friends. Okay, you should have empathy to vulnerable sections. What is empathy? Empathy is, you should be in the shoes of the person who is facing the problem. You should not just go there and, oh, I sympathy with you. How pity. You have a lot of problems. You should not say that. You should try to solve it. Only then you will be called as a civil servant or an IAS with empathy. So this is how I try to analyze a mains question. This is how you should connect. See, here I have connected this topic called agriculture labor. You can write the same answer in economy. You can write the same answer in polity. You can write the same answer in ethics and essay also. So with the same analysis, you can write anywhere. That is the confidence. Okay. What are Kharif and Rabi crops? This is a small objective question, friends. You can just learn it. Uh, Kharif crops are the crops which are generally grown in summer, and Rabi crops are generally grown in winter. Okay, so generally rice is the biggest Kharif crop and wheat is the biggest Rabi crop. You can read this. We will discuss this more in economy. So let's quickly go to the next question. So friends, this is also an analytical question, right? Here I am trying to focus on the debt. So please spend time and analyze these things. This is very important. Farmers debt cycle and farmer suicides. Why farmer suicides are happening in India? Why farmers are going into the web of the poverty? We all think that in the movies also there are famous dialogues. Rich people are increasing in their wealth. Poor people are getting more poor. Why is this happening? That is called as a web of poverty. Why it is happening? There are a lot of reasons. One of the big reason is disguised unemployment, friends. So all these terms are not appearing in the NCERT lesson, but out of my enthusiasm, I want you to understand. Okay, because you are preparing for UPSC, and you are not just simply 6th class students. You are a persons who are about 21 years of age and trying to revisit NCERT lessons for preparing UPSC mains and interview, right? So here, what is this word called? Disguised unemployment. What is disguised unemployment? Suppose there is a work W, okay? If this W work can be done by 5%, but it is 10 persons in practically who are working. So what happens? 5 persons are waste. So the all the man hours these 5 extra persons are spending are waste. So that is called as the disguised unemployment. Here, even though 10 members seem to be appearing, okay, 5 persons are not actually working. That is called as disguised unemployment. This is the main problem in India, friends, especially in agricultural families. For example, all the 4 to 6 members of a family go to the agriculture fields and work. Yes, all of them can work, but if the government provides them mechanization, okay, if they try to mechanize, that work can be done by 1 or 2 people. The rest people are simply disguised unemployment. This is one reason. Second reason, and it is also a main reason, that is exploitation by money lenders. So that's why the solution is cooperatives, friends. So you know this concept called money lenders. So what I told, this third point is linked to money lenders. What I have told earlier, 80% of Indian farmers are tenants, right? What are tenants? They don't have lands. So when they don't have lands, they don't have property papers. So when they don't have property papers, which is used by banks as collateral, so if you don't have any collateral, will banks give you loans? No, obviously they don't. They are rejected. So if any tenant in India goes to a bank and asks that, sir, I am trying to farm a land, I have taken it for lease from an owner. Please give me credit. No, the banks can't give because he is not having any collaterals or property papers. That's why what they have to do, they will go to their money lenders or zamindars in their villages, and he will charge very high interest rates. So what will happen? The interest rate will be going and he will never repay the debt. So what is a better solution is cooperatives. So which is the biggest cooperative successful in India? That is the Amul. So what is Amul Cooperative? It is a milk cooperative which is started in a town called Anand in Gujarat. Who is the father of White Revolution? Verghese Kurian. So he is the idea, he is the genius behind this Amul, right? So you should learn about cooperatives. I will not explain it here. It is a very big topic. So cooperatives, friends, are the sustainable and the only solution to get rid of money lenders. Indian government, neither Indian government nor SBI nor any banks in India can give loans to all these 80% crores of farmers in India. Only cooperatives. Okay, cooperatives is the solution. That's why government also will support cooperatives, friends. And successfully, actually, this is a very good thing actually done by the central government, that is called as the Draft Model Tenancy Act. So I am not explaining this act, friends, but what I am trying to tell is the central government has brought this act so that all the state governments will get inspired and implement this act. Why the state governments have to get inspired? Because agriculture is a state list. Okay, because agriculture is in a state list, the states have to take the responsibility to implement the tenancy acts. So what is the tenancy acts? So let me go to our next solution to explain you clearly. What is the tenancy act? It is an agreement. So central government has told the state governments to make it a legal agreement, so that the agreement between a owner of a land, that is a farmer, and a tenant, which has to be strong and legally accepted, so that if the tenant gets the legal papers of the land, that is lease papers, you say, if the lease papers are legally verified and valued, taking these legal papers of the land lease, he can go to a bank and take loan, right? He can take seeds, he can take fertilizers, he can get electricity subsidies, he can get all the input subsidies and all the valuations to the land. That's how the tenant can be benefited. So with this simple agreement, the tenants, the 80% farmers in India, can be getting a lot of valuable additions. But the state governments are hesitant to do due to a lot of political and other legal factors. So I also wish that all the states will very soon, what to say, implement this central government's Model Tenancy Act. So friends, in this manner, a particular issue, okay, you write a particular issue on a piece of paper and try to link it everywhere, so that the same issue you can answer in GS paper 1, society, GS paper 2, polity and governance, GS paper 3, economy, environment, GS paper 4, ethics, essay, interview, wherever. Even after you get selected, you will be given interview. Wherever you go, the knowledge carries on. So you should not prepare GS1, GS2 in separate way. You should prepare the issues. You should be a proactive aspirant, not a passive aspirant going to uh, bookstores and buying the essay books. You should create essays yourself in your mind. Every topic you read, only then you become a real UPSC aspirant. Okay. So now coming to the comment section, do write this answer. Okay, list down 10 problems faced by farmers in India and give 10 solutions to them. Friends, I have given you the mindset, the path, how to think, how to analyze. So you are all, most of you are coming from villages and semi-urban areas. You will be knowing what are all the farmers' problems. So try to what to say, collude all them in 10 points. Okay, and try to give them 10 solutions. I suggest and I want all the aspirants, okay, to give your suggestions and farmers' problems down in the comments so that you can read from others. A student of Mizoram can read the farmers' problems in Tamil Nadu. A student from Jammu Kashmir can read the farmers' problems in Arunachal Pradesh. So that's the beauty of India. You will be having a collaboration of knowledge. Okay. So take quiz, friends. Soon after this video, you go to this Telegram channel, which is present in the channel description, and give the quiz so that you can test and verify your ranks. So all the best, friends. So the same way, this video should have taken time, but I want this to happen because this is the mains perspective. Mains always takes time, right? So the next lesson, urban livelihoods, also I have done in the same way. So all the best aspirants, improve your thinking. Okay, improve your writing, improve your reading, improve your thinking. Only then you will be become better aspirant. Thank you, friends. That's it for today. All the best.